Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today I wanted to speak a little more about the region now that we're kind of gotten through the uh, famous people from the region. I wanted to kind of talk about the genetic makeup of most of the people from a lot of the people from the region. Here in the Appalachians, especially this region of the Appalachians, you'll see a lot of um, people that tend to be descended of Scottish, Irish, German, French, um, Native American. What else? Um, People of some history of Melungeon ancestry. But usually, for the most part, that's it. You won't see too many Eastern European descendancies, Russian descendancies. It's mainly from Western Europe and notably Ireland and the UK. Um, but yeah, you won't see too many names. Cernovich, um, Papadopoulos, many of these uh, ancestry names you get like Greek or Russian. The very telling names. Most of the names we have are very Western European. Um, yeah, like I said, it's quite common to hear around here. In fact, this area, you'll often, if you've ever listened to people talk, they'll talk about the Scottish Irish or Scots Irish heritage in the area. Um, because when you think of the Appalachian Mountains and how they extend, if you look at how the continents used to press together, it's holding, I guess, kind of a similarity because much of that type of landscape also exists here. So a lot of it felt very much, or at least it reminded many of the Scottish and Irish of home, with the rolling hills and mountains, um, forested and all that. But yeah, there's even down here, um, especially throughout North Carolina and Tennessee, they hold what's called the Highland Games, just because it's supposed to be descended from Scottish ancestry. Doing they do like the log tosses and hammer throws and some other stuff like that. But yeah, look it up, the Highland Games. Um, but yeah, there there's a lot of ancestry in that, and then like I said, there's also you'll find ancestry from German names, and of course English names, um, French. Um, I know for a fact I've got uh, French Huguenot ancestry. Um, but yeah, you'll see a lot of that from Europe. Another one is Native American. I was used to seeing Native Americans as someone other than white people before I started really seeing African Americans locally, because I'd seen Native Americans standing outside the store and stuff like that. I don't see as many as common these days, but I had seen quite a few in the past. But you'll still see people and uh, who have Native American heritage. In fact, one of the big things that tends to go on in this area is there's such a muddled history for a lot of people that some of them are like, we have, I'm supposed to have Native American or heritage or whatever. And I've known multiple people who have claimed that. I've been told myself that apparently at some point that further back in the line there was Native American heritage. Um, but yeah, it's something I'd like to figure out. I need to do a genealogy thing and see what my ancestry breaks down into and everything. Um, but yeah, Native Americans, a common one, Melungeon. A lot of people don't seem to quite understand what Melungeons are, but they are people who have certain traits that trace back. They're not even understood from where they may have originated, whether it is somewhere in Europe or elsewhere. But the legend goes that they had um, different style dress than the Native Americans, but they had darker skin, they had flatter nails. It wasn't like really rounded, which, I mean, my nails are pretty flat. So again, that's something that is I'm often told there may have been some Melungeon heritage a ways back as well. But shovel, they call them like shovel teeth. instead of just like straight up and down, they're kind of like that. They have a bit of a curve to them. Not a hugely noticeable one, but just a little bit. But these are some of the traits, supposedly, of the Melungeon people. Elvis Presley, well known Melungeon. He had that darker skin. Um, but yeah, they say he was a Melungeon. Um, but yeah, they're kind of a lost heritage in the area. But you'll find people with uh, who are descendants of a Melungeon. But yeah, let's see. But I'm also you'll find Italian heritage around here. I have a friend who had some who has some Italian heritage, who is from the region. So you'll also find that. So again, a lot of Western Europe. So you'll probably see some others. Um, I don't see too much in the way of Spanish, but I'm not digging into everybody's past. But I'm just telling you a lot of the basics you'll see. So yeah, again, a lot of Western Europe, Central Europe, UK, and then again, Melungeons, the natives. But that's a big portion of the heritage in this region that make up a lot of the people. Other than that, you'll see speckles of this or that, but those are the great majority. You'll not see a lot of Latino, Latina, um, African Americans are scattered throughout. Uh, it's just a very white region. Like I said, my first memories of meeting someone um, directly that wasn't a white person was probably, well, the first time I met someone that was African American, I think I was like 13 or so. So yeah, but it's an interesting mix in the area. Although it does tend to be largely white, but you'll see a lot of people with different European backgrounds and different that some have Native American or Melungeon. Because I know for a fact where I live myself, uh, before um, the English settlers pushed further, well, before the U.S. was even a thing, well, maybe Before the English settlers pushed further, the area where I lived myself was uh, part of the edges of the Cherokee hunting grounds. So you'll often hear a lot of people talking about they are Cherokee. I have no knowledge of if I have Cherokee background as far as Native American, but I can't claim I'm Cherokee. It's not that close, but the ancestry's there. Like I was saying, there's such a mixture in the area. I know other people who are much closer as far as native roots. But again, it's an unusual mixture, but still the majority of the people you'll see tend to be white. Just unfortunately the way it is. It's not a highly diversified. But that was all I kind of wanted to speak on in today's episode. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I will be listing what sources that I think will be useful in the description below the video. Until next time, later.